So after you've applied gum and it has dried, you get your ruler and your pen. You measure 1.5 inch from the two base, that's up here and down here. Then you pick your marker, you gum it in between. You gum it down in between the mark. That's in between the marker. You have to centralize the marker on top of the leather. So once you're done with this, now what you're folding at this side shouldn't be too much. You fold the edge on top of the leather, not on the marker. You might apply gum if you feel the gum is not enough. I have to apply gum at the other side. The gum is not, didn't spread well enough. Now what will I be doing with this down part? This is what I'll be doing. The folding will come in form of a V. The folding in at this part. But before that, don't forget that this up, the tip here, we have to fold it down. So we have this. So we are having this on our bag. Fold the upper part in. Make sure it's of the same size. Good, they have the same size. Now some parts where the gum didn't get to, I have to apply gum to make sure it gets there. Then the marker, just a little gum, just spread it through. So while you're waiting for this one to dry, you can actually work on the second one and fix that before this dries. So before you sew it, now this is where you're going to sew from the tip of this marker. So you fold together this way. Make sure the marker is gummed to each other. So you start your sewing from this part here down to where the marker is here. So after sewing the handle this way, you can see the way it has been sewn. Now you take your bag, open this part here. Now where we marked the 1.5 inches, put it below it. That is the beginning of this bag. Okay, let's just say the starting of this handle here. Let it be on top of that mark. So you use your sewing machine to sew the three sides down, this way, down, and this other side. So you can see the way it has been sewn. Now the second one, you repeat the same process, down, and you use your sewing machine to sew it. So now after sewing the handle to the back, don't forget the back side as well. So you have this, the front and the back. Now you measure at this top here, you measure 1 inch. 1 inch. And you measure the total length of this upper part here. Total length I'm having here is 8. Okay. Let me place it this way to get the. So I have 8 inches here. So I'm measuring 8 inches by 1 on a thick paper. You can't use carry board, you can use chipboard, and you can use all this expression stuff. 8 inches, so I'll be cutting 2. I need 2 of it. So this is 8 inches. Now 1 inch. Now instead of 1 inch, you measure 1.5 inches. The extra ½ inch is where the lining will pass through. Cut it out. Divide this into 2. Then you cut out leather from it. But before we cut out the leather, let's measure the side. Now the height of this bag is 7.5 inches. Now I'll be using 6.5 inches for my height because I will be deducting 1 inch from the upper part here. So that will give me 6.5 inches. Now you are making the inverted part type of it. So 6.5 inches, I'll be adding extra 1 inch, ½ inch to the height, which is the height, ½ inch to the height to give us 7 inches. So I have 7. Cut it out. Now the width of my base is 4 inches. Now instead of 4 inches, I'll be measuring, adding extra ½ inch to both sides, which will give me 5 inches in total. So I have this 5 inches in total. So you measure 2 of it. Make sure you get 2 of it. So the second one, 7 inches. Now we'll cut out leather for the 4 papers that we've cut out. You will need to give extra allowance for this. So forget I said you have to give allowance when you're cutting. So this is the two, the upper part, then the side. You give allowance as well. Now this is what you will do. You apply gum at the back of this paper. The back of this paper. You apply gum on these two leathers. The back of the side, two sides, you apply gum, and also the leathers. You apply gum and wait for them to dry before you gum together. Now before you gum this to the leather, the upper part of it, you measure it first. Place it on it and measure it, which is of the same size. Okay, so I guess it is. You can see it's the same size. So return to the front part. You have to check size it, because if it is not of the same size, it's going to be a problem. That is, if this is longer than, okay, this is nice, it's the same size. Now this is how you gum it on it. You can see I didn't give a leather allowance down here. The only added allowance are the two sides and the upper part. So you apply gum around the three sides, then you gum this down to it. You repeat the same thing for the other side as well. So you apply gum, then down like that. Then for the side, you place the paper at the center. That is the chipboard. Place it at the center. Now if you're using a thick leather, you don't need to add paper to the side. You don't need to add paper to the side. Even the body, you might try not to use carryboard or marco. Even better, you want to use marco. There is this light marco they use in making flat shoes. You can get that one. You can use that. As if your leather is extra strong. All you need to do is decide. You just to, if you know you don't have a big machine. If you are using a black edge just like me, you can try to coat the edge. So you sew it outside and coat the edge. Then once you are done wrapping this way, you apply gum 4 sides. Then you cover the sides down. Now after wrapping the side, now you get the down part. You measure 1/2 inch. Don't forget 1/2 inch. Then 4 inches. I measured 1/2 inch from this up there, this tip here to this part, and from here to here 1/2 inch. So what I have in between this place and this place now is 4 inches, and from here to here is 1/2 inch, here to here is 1/2 inch. So what I'm going to be doing now is to cross it this way. Then I'll use my sewing machine to sew this part where I marked. Where I marked as 1/2 inch is where I'm going to use my sewing machine to sew. I've sewn the first part. Now the second part, You fold it same way. You sew it using the same process.